These images unforgettable. Bodies stacked inside a hot van outside of Valley Crematory. The owner losing his license after our investigation last year. And now the ABC 15 investigators are revealing something new. A disturbing funeral home mix-up coming from another viewer tip.
Joe Ducey is exposing a history of violations and taking tough questions straight to the owner. Some of the images you're about to see are graphic.
The funeral of a loved one, a time for memories, a time for grief. But when Francisco Marquez died,
everybody was just in shock.
As family gathered for the viewing, they witnessed a horrifying mistake.
It's the wrong body. It's the wrong body.
It wasn't Rachel's grandfather Francisco inside the casket. It was someone else, dressed in his clothes. Rachel says funeral home staff kept insisting it was her grandfather.
You never expect this to happen.
When the family finally did get to see Grandpa, the body was bloated and worse.
He had fluids coming out from his eyes, his ears. It was horrible. It seemed like water, but it had blood in it. I was in shock. I could not believe what I was seeing.
Rachel says it happened in February at La Paz Funeral Home at 10th Street and Indian School Road in Phoenix.
You can see the blood, the dried up blood, body fluids.
Brenda worked there for nearly 5 months. She says the fluid the Marquez family saw is called purging and claims it happened more than once at La Paz.
They would come and tell us, Miss, my loved one has something coming out of him.
The ABC 15 investigators obtained these pictures taken at La Paz. Brenda says the photos show body fluids and blood. She says it wasn't cleaned for days.
And what's all this?
That's all blood.
Just
where the body, yeah. It leaks out. And then it just spills there.
La Paz was cited for failure to properly train employees in dealing with blood exposure, one of 6 violations found by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration in 2008. The Arizona Board of Funeral Directors and Embalmers has handed down 5 disciplinary actions against La Paz in the last 10 years, including periods of probation and fines.
We talked with 4 people who used to work at La Paz and say they had the same concerns. But only Brenda would appear on camera. The others say it's such a small industry, they feared they'd lose their new jobs.
I thought we had a good case.
Still, one of those former workers did file this complaint with the funeral board. Based on that complaint, State Funeral Board Director Rudy Thomas says he nearly completed his investigation on La Paz and was ready to bring it to the board when the former worker changed her mind.
She informed us that she was threatening a lawsuit.
The ABC 15 investigators got a copy of this letter addressed to that same former employee. It's from an attorney for La Paz, warning her to cease and desist making what they call inaccurate and false statements. La Paz attorneys threatened to sue her for lost profits.
Why not just let it play out in front of the board?
The board looked at it too and didn't see any relevance.
Terry Harding runs the La Paz Funeral Home with his wife, Chella.
Well, her complaint never got to the board because it was squelched before that.
By the board?
By a threat of a lawsuit.
No.
We asked Harding about the OSHA violations.
OSHA came here and saw it in perfect condition when they came.
So their finding was?
Paperwork issues. We didn't have the little signs on the wall.
In terms of blood?
They found nothing.
But OSHA listed the violation as serious. We showed Harding these pictures. He insists everything was cleaned up right away. And as for the Marquez body mix-up, Harding says everything was fine once the memorial service started.
We had the correct clothes on him at the time of the service, yes.
Can you see how that would traumatize a family?
We understand that it's a serious issue. We're not claiming that it wasn't.
Harding says purging, fluids coming out of bodies, rarely happens at La Paz, but it's all Rachel and her family can remember as they try to restore dignity to a man who deserved it.
They were so devastated, it was unbelievable.
In Arizona, boards regulate businesses, but by law, they have to have a complaint in order to start an investigation. So if you've got a complaint about any funeral home or any other business, go to abc15.com/investigators and let me know about it. I'm investigator Joe Ducey, ABC 15 News.